Hey everybody, welcome to Down Home Backyard Gardening. In this video, what I want to do is pickle some carrots that I harvested in the backyard a few days ago, and I want to make another batch of dilly beans because they were so good, except this time, we're going to add some jalapenos. Let's grow. So as you can see behind me, I've already got the water starting to boil. Now with pickling, you are using vinegar, so you do not have to use the pressure cooker and can them with the pressure cooker. All we're gonna do is give them a water bath, because using vinegar makes it to where you just need to water bath them. You do not need to pressure cook them, and that, y'all, takes a lot of time out of it. This is still a little time consuming, but it's fun, and if you enjoy what you're doing, and for me, growing stuff out there and bringing it in here and doing stuff with it is honestly what it's all about, right? So what we're gonna do right now is just get all the ingredients ready while the water is boiling, because there are steps that you have to take in a certain way for this process. But all in all, this does not take very long at all. So what I wanna do right now is make the brine. Now I'm gonna put the entire recipe down below in the description, but right now we need a half a cup of canning salt. That is not the regular salt. This is a specific canning salt. And we're gonna do 4 cups of distilled white vinegar. And we're gonna do 4 cups of water. Now this one is a 2-cup measuring cup. Okay, y'all, and that is the brine. Now we're just going to turn it on. I go about a medium to low heat, and we're just going to stir this until that salt dissolves. Once it dissolves, we're just going to turn it down, because when we put the brine in the jars, it needs to be hot brine. So we're just going to let that go for now. Keep watching it. And then we've got the water going right there. Okay, so while all that's going, we're gonna get the jars ready. And I'm using pint-sized jars. We're gonna do 5 of them. This is really simple, y'all. We're gonna take the rings off, and we're gonna leave these on just for now. At least this is what I do. Before we go any further, I know canning's been around forever. There's a million different ways people have been taught to do this. I'm showing how I do it and how I've been taught to do it. If you all do it a different way, hey, more power to you. Stick to your way. If you're new to canning, I'm showing you the way that I've always done it, and it's always been safe. Again, you have to know what vegetables or what fruits need to be pressure cooked, canned, or they can go into a water bath, and that's just where it comes down to research. But pretty much, if you've got an acidic fruit or vegetable, or you're using vinegar, for the most part, you're going to do a water bath. If it's anything else that doesn't have a lot of vinegar in it or a lot of acid, you're probably more than likely going to do a pressure cook. Again, do your research, 100%. I've always said that. So you set the rings off to the side. We're going to get a pot with water, not a lot of water, and we're going to bring that water up to a low boil. As soon as it starts to boil, I turn it off, and I'm going to show you why. Okay, so we're going to take the 5 lids of the jars that we're going to use tonight, and we're going to put them in that pot. And what we're doing is we're sterilizing and loosening up just a little bit of this rubber film that's going to adhere to the jar when it gets canned. We're going to sit them in there just like that, nothing crazy, just to where they're submerged. Okay, so while all that's going, what I like to do is get the dry ingredients ready. Okay, so the recipe is this: a half a teaspoon of mustard seed, dill seed, black peppercorns, and coriander. This dry recipe is very easy. Like, you can't even forget that. So we're gonna do that real quick here while everything is about ready to start rocking and rolling. For the dill seed, because we're putting fresh dill in the jars and I kind of ran out, we're good. I'm not tripping on that. But while we're talking about that, if you look at the recipe, it calls for onions and fresh dill. So why don't we go in the backyard and get it? Okay, so we have a lot of dill right here. Look at that. It doesn't get any fresher than that, y'all. Look at that right there. Take some up from up top. And I'm gonna take a lot because I'm doing a lot of canning tonight. Yeah, I think we're good on the dill. So the onion, I got that right over here. I have been itching to pull this one up, so let's give this a shot. Okay, it's not a huge onion, y'all, but you know what? It's more than enough. Got a bunch of these white onions right here. That's more than enough onion for what we need. So I thought the garlic would be ready, at least some of them would be ready, but they're not even close. So luckily I bought some garlic at the store. We're ready to go rock and roll, but still, I got 2 of the ingredients out of the garden. That's 2 ingredients that I didn't have to go buy at the store. And isn't that the whole point of gardening? Grow your own stuff so you can utilize it inside. I mean, y'all, that's what it's all about. Isn't it the coolest thing that you can go out and harvest some of your ingredients? It would be great if I could harvest all of them, but I'm happy with the onions and the dill. And and as you see right here, I've gone ahead, chopped everything up, got the jalapenos ready, the onion ready, the dill we're just gonna break off when I put them in the jars. So right now it's time to start the jar. I'm gonna go ahead and get them in the water now so they can get clean. Then we're gonna take them out and then really start the process of getting the carrots in and the green beans, which will become dilly beans. I took those off the burner because they are done. The lids are done. So now we're just gonna focus on putting these jars in for about 5 to 10 minutes. That's what I've always done. And that's, again, y'all, is just to clean the jars. Let that hot water do its thing. Okay, as y'all can see the brine, I'm gonna turn that down because that is definitely ready to rock and roll. And we're gonna get these jars out. Now, it's incredibly important that when you take them out of there, remember they're boiling hot, almost boiling hot, very, very hot. You need somewhere cool to put them on, a towel of some kind. Do not put them on your counter. The counter's probably cool. Those jars are hot. Next thing you know, they're gonna shatter. So make sure you have a towel to put them on. And when you take them out, be very, very careful. Remember, that water is super, super hot. So you wanna turn them sideways like this, go slow. There's no rush in this or you're gonna get burned. Take them out, sit them down. Just like that. And y'all, we are almost ready to rock and roll here. All right, so I've already got some of the carrots cut. We've got some more over here. Now I went ahead and let this one on because this is a purple carrot. But as you can see, when you get the skin off, it's just a beautiful orange. So I left this one the way it is. And to be honest, y'all, I might only do 2 jars of carrots, maybe. If not, if I don't have enough, we're gonna just make more dilly beans. All right, so we're almost ready to start putting all the ingredients in the jars, getting the lids on and getting them back in the water. But the important thing is the water has to be boiling once you put the jars in to start the water bath. So the water is just about there. So we're gonna go ahead and start stacking all the ingredients into the jars. Now it's very important that you try to pack in as much as you can to get rid of all the water, or I'm sorry, to get rid of all the air bubbles, or as many air bubbles as you can. We're stacking the green beans. You're gonna see me really pushing them in and packing them in really tight. That's very, very important. But here we go. All right, so remember that jar is a little warm. I'm gonna go ahead and put in the dry ingredients first. We're gonna do some onions. We're gonna do a couple garlics, do a few of the fresh dill. Now remember, this is washed. Down in there like so. And then we're gonna start getting the carrots in. And you want to remember to leave about a ½ an inch of headspace in here as you're packing everything in. So when we put the brine in, we're not going to stack it all the way to the very top. We're going to leave about a ½ inch of headspace in there. As the lights just flickered. Okay, those are packed in there really tight. This jar is really hot. Yeah, what did I forget? I forgot the jalapenos. Doggone it. So we'll just put a couple of the jalapenos right here at the top. Really should have had them down. And so, you know, at the next jar we'll get jalapenos. This one will just be pickled. And that's fine. Okay, now we're going to take the brine and get the brine in there. So, if you all are new to canning, make sure you get your canning stuff. These are such a good, this is just stuff, really good stuff to have, especially if you're going to really get into canning. And get my arm out of the way there. Let me do it this way so y'all can see. Now remember, we're going to stop about a head, ½ an inch above, ½ an inch from the top. So we'll put just a little bit more. And then this one is good. We're going to take one of those lids that we had in the pan, if I can find it. Okay, one of the lids on there like so. Get one of the rings. Okay, here's what I've always done. Once you take it down and it stops moving, go about a quarter turn more and stop. Okay, y'all, we're going to do that 4 more times and rock and roll. Okay, now we're going to switch over and do the dilly beans. I'm excited for these because last time I did not put jalapenos in. So I think these will be fun here. Spicy. Now these we're going to jam pack into this jar. And if we have to break them down so they're like that, then so be it. But I'm going to jam them in. Now remember, you want to wash them before you start this process. And I mean wash them good, thoroughly. I'm going to try to get all the space used up in the jar as best as you can. Now I have another video out just on the dilly beans that I'll put up right here if you all want to go look at that. It's all basically the same, but very specifically to the dilly beans. And in this video, I'm adding jalapenos, where in the other videos I did not. But again, very important to just jam pack these jars as much as you possibly can. Get as much space used up in here that you can. Here at the top, I'm running out of room, but I think we will be just fine. So that's good enough for me. Yeah, well, let's see. Maybe I can jam one right in there. Probably get one right back down in there. And yeah, I think we are, I think this one's good to go. So let's go ahead and get the brine in on it. It's the exact same as the carrots. Get the brine in there. You know what? I harvested these dragon tongue beans the other day. Why don't we use these for the final jar? I think these will be awesome. Okay. And, you know, for these, let's just do a regular brine. No jalapenos on this one. We need another garlic though. All right, a couple cloves of garlic. Let's get the mint, or let's get the dill in there, like so. All the dry ingredients. All right, let's just pack these in with the dragon tongue beans. Now, if y'all have never had these beans, I did a harvest and taste on these last week, and y'all, I'm telling you, these beans are phenomenal. I highly encourage you to grow these. I got these seeds from Baker Creek. These beans grow so good, so quick, very prolific. Lot of pods on the plants. And just cooking them, just salt, water, and the beans, y'all, were so good. If you've never had them, I highly encourage you to seriously try growing them, especially if you all like beans. Green beans, if you're a green bean eater, the flavor on these things are just so good. All right, good enough. I think that looks good. Now remember how they look right here, because once they cook, they will not look like this. All that purple will go away. You know, I know this looks like a lot, everyone, but it's really not. Everything altogether, time-wise, up to this point, 30 minutes-ish, somewhere in that range. Now, we still have time to go for everything to, you know, actually water bath. But this doesn't take a long time. It's actually a lot of fun. I absolutely enjoy doing this. And if you're watching this video, I'm assuming you're like me. You love to garden and you love to do stuff like this, or you're wanting to learn how to do stuff like this in the kitchen. And what better way to spend some time than doing something like this and having fun, experimenting. It's what I do in the garden. I experiment, try different things, attempt to think outside the box, and then bring that same type of thing in here. Now, of course, with this, you have to follow certain steps, but I like to add different ingredients. And once I start getting habaneros growing and some of these other peppers that I have going, the cayennes, and so I'm gonna start adding them to these recipes also. So, and I'm telling you, grow your own dill, grow your own onions, grow your own garlic. Now, I thought my garlic was a lot further along than it was, so I had to actually go buy this garlic, but I have a lot of garlic out there. So end of the year, I'll have tons of garlic. But that's what's beautiful about doing this. Grow it outside, utilize it inside. And I think the water is just about ready. So we want a rolling boil. This isn't quite there yet, but it's almost there. Once it's there, we're gonna do the same thing. We're going to use these tongs here to put the jars in the water. It's important to remember you need to have an inch of water above the top of the lids once they're in the water. Okay, y'all, we're good to go as far as I'm concerned. So we're gonna set these in nice and slow. Nice and slow, no rush on this part either. Dragon tongue beans, remember how they look right now. Okay, now that water rose really high. That was one thing I forgot to take a count of, so I'm gonna take some of this water out. So we're gonna keep the fire up high. We're gonna go for 10 minutes in my elevation for the water bath. Once that's done, we're done, y'all. Final part coming up. All right, everybody, that was time. Now, I actually let it go a minute longer just because I wanted to. No real reason. So we're just going to take them out. And again, make sure you have a towel on the countertop. You do not want to put these boiling hot jars on a cold countertop. It would be a bad thing. Now I'm turning it sideways like this just to get the water off the top of the lid. But look at that. They all float to the top. Oh, that looks good. All right, the dragon tongue beans. What do y'all think? Do they stay? No, like I said, it just turned yellow. All those stripes are gone. Okay, as we come in, you can see they're still boiling inside. And again, that is exactly why you want to ensure that you have this, a towel or something down on the countertop. All right, everybody, so that's the video. And I wanted to end the video with this right here. These are the dilly beans I made in December. Super crunchy. Such a pickle flavor, y'all. It's just absolutely amazing. I really hope these carrots turn out like this. Never had a pickle carrot, but I'm really excited to try it. For real. That's the video. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Hope you learned something from it and got something out of it. If you all have a recipe that has been in your family forever and you feel like sharing it with the world, drop it in the comments below. I know I would love to try them, and I'm sure there's lots of other people that would also. Everyone, if you enjoyed this video, do me a favor, share it, like it, and subscribe to this channel if you've not done so already. Until next time, everyone, take care. God bless. Shine bright and harvest hard. I'll talk to you again real soon. Bye. One thing I forgot to say, now that the lids are starting to suction down and seal to the jars, is remember, those things are hot. I advise highly that you just leave them overnight, let them cool down on their own right where they're at. Just my opinion, just my advice. That's what I always do. And I would hate for you to do all that work to go to pick up one of those jars forgetting that they're hot and drop them. Or pick them up and sit them somewhere and the difference in temp cracks the jar. So just my advice.